fiery horse with a speed of light, the cloud of dust, and a hearty hi-yo Silver, the Lone Ranger. With his faithful Indian companion Tonto, the masked rider of the plains led the fight for law and order in the early days of the western United States. His strength and courage, his daring and resourcefulness blazed the trail for progress and finally made possible the winning of the West. No greater champion of justice can be found in the pages of history. Return with us now to those thrilling days of yesteryear. From out of the past come the thundering hoofbeats of the great horse Silver. The Lone Ranger rides again.
Come on, Silver. We're heading for the gold country. There's going to be trouble. Well, Silver! Away!
Young Jerry Lee returned to Virginia City after a 6-week prospecting trip in the hills above the town. His first stop was Sheriff Park's home, and he found the sheriff's daughter, Betty, on the front porch.
Jerry, you've come back.
Yes, ma'am. What there is left of me.
How much gold did you find, and when are we going to get married?
Not so fast.
Do you want me to be an old maid?
As a kid, quiet.
Oh, Jerry, didn't you have any luck at all?
I had all the luck I thought I would. I found the richest ore in this part of the country up on Lookout Hill. I staked out my claim.
Then you're rich.
Far from it, honey. The gold's up there, but there's no way to wash it out.
No water at all?
Not a drop.
Oh, you shouldn't have wasted your time. Why didn't you stay down here around the creek? Lots of men are washing out $100 and $200 a day.
You could pump all the water needed up to Lookout Hill.
How?
Well, I'm not saying it wouldn't cost a lot of money. Thousands and
Oh,
thousands,
then
but...
what's the use of talking about it? Nobody believed you when you told them there was more gold up in the hills than around the creek.
Well, it's only common sense.
And they won't believe you now, so you can't expect anybody to lend you money.
Well, I won't give up until I've tried.
Who are you going to start with?
I don't know. I thought maybe you might give me some idea.
Well, Paul might be able to let you have a little, but you said thousands.
Yep. I need big money or none at all.
Well, I don't know either. And to tell the truth, Jerry, I wish you'd give up the idea.
Can't you understand? I might get a stake from placer mining, but that's all. There won't be any placer mining in another year.
That's just plain local.
No, it isn't. I'll find somebody who's willing to take a chance. If I have to, I'll go to Frisco or Chicago.
I wish you wouldn't.
I've got to, honey.
You think you're awful smart, don't you?
Oh, it's only common sense.
Jerry, if somebody who knows a lot more about this country than you do, if that somebody was to tell you that you were wrong, that you couldn't get gold out of the hills without it costing too much, would you give up the idea then?
You got somebody special in mind?
Uh-huh.
Who?
The Lone Ranger.
The Lone Ranger?
That's what I said.
Well, sure, I'd take his advice, but where is he?
I can tell you, Jerry.
Yeah?
He came here last night to talk with Paul. Must have been 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and I didn't know anything about it until breakfast. Paul couldn't keep it a secret any longer than that. He didn't tell me what their business was, but he did tell me where the masked man was camped.
Where?
In the woods beyond Crystal Falls. You can find him there tonight.
I will, honey.
And you'll take his advice?
I'll do whatever he says. I promise. Well, that's
That's what I believe, masked man. But I promised Betty that if you thought I was wrong, I'd give up the idea.
I don't think you're wrong, Jerry. The only reason they're finding gold in the creek is because it was washed down from the hills. The big strikes are still to be made.
That's all I need. That's the way I figure, too.
It isn't a job for one man, though. You'll have to have men and machinery. Companies will have to be formed.
And I'm going to start the first one.
You won't find it easy. The miners haven't realized it.
What's the matter?
There's someone riding this way. It's all right. I think it's Tonto. Hi, Kimosabe.
I saw that faint horse in town tonight.
Was he on the stage, Tonto?
Ah,
I wonder if he'll try the same thing again.
me hear him talk. Him open office in town.
I think he will. But we can't let him succeed this time.
You think him break law?
We can't prove he did, but...
Say, what's this all about?
Jerry, you might be able to help us.
Huh?
And help yourself at the same time. I know the man who will back you.
You do?
His name is Carl Miller, and he just arrived in Virginia City tonight.
Carl Miller. Wasn't he the president of the Great Western Company?
That's the man.
But everybody connected with that lost their shirts.
Everyone but Miller, Jerry. You go to him, and you'll get all the money you need.
That sounds too good to be true.
Go to him the first thing in the morning. Tell him your theory, but don't be too optimistic about it.
Well, how can I convince him
Just
if
follow my instructions. Make a point of how much money will have to be spent. Don't say that it's sure to pay out, but ask his advice. Let him make the decision.
That doesn't sound like good business to me.
It will to Miller. And when it comes to signing a contract, there are only two things to remember.
A contract?
You must insist on 50% of the stock,
Yeah?
and that you have full charge of the mining operations. That's the most important thing of all.
Well, sure. I'd want to have full charge. Oh, if this works out the way I think it will.
It won't, Jerry.
Won't.
But you'll get your money and a chance to prove your idea. Besides that, you'll help us put a crook in jail.
Are you absolutely sure the ore on Lookout Hill is rich?
I'll be honest, sir. I only washed out a little of it. But if you wanted me to, I could go back and
No,
wash...
that won't be necessary. If you want to have complete charge of the mining operations yourself.
Yes, sir. I insist on that.
Have you had any experience with a job of this sort?
No. But then no one has. It's a new idea.
Of course.
You're a good businessman, Mr. Miller. I'm just putting it up to you. Does the idea sound good enough for you to invest money in it?
It does, my boy. It does indeed. This great new country can never be developed unless we take a chance. I believe in progress and the glorious destiny of the West. You say there'll be no more placer mining in a year?
Well, it won't pay after that.
Exactly my feeling. Lookout Hill will be the... I don't like that name, eh?
Lookout Hill? That's what it's always been called.
We're dealing with the future, not the past. Now on it's going to be called, let me see. Nugget Mountain. That's it. Nugget Mountain, a mountain of gold.
It isn't exactly a mountain, sir.
You leave the words to me, my boy, and I'll leave the deeds to you. I'll drop the contract right away. You drop a list of the machinery and tools we need. Don't try to be economical, include everything. I may be able to think of a few things myself. Come back here at 4 o'clock.
4 o'clock this afternoon?
It's after the course. We can't waste time. I'll take the stage for the East tonight. Within a month, your machinery will start arriving. Within 6 months, Nugget Mountain will be the talk of the West.
I'm not so sure.
Don't worry, my boy. You do your best and leave the rest to me.
It worked, masked man. I still can't believe it. But we signed a partnership agreement, and Miller's gone east to buy machinery and tools. And look, he left me $1,000. That's just to hire a few men to get the ground ready.
When will he be back?
3 months. But the machinery will start arriving before that. And he'll send more money, too. By the time he gets back, we'll be ready to start work. And when I get through, folks won't be laughing at me anymore.
Are they doing that now?
Yeah, some. They won't even believe that Miller's backing me.
You're going to surprise a lot of people, Jerry, including Miller himself.
3 months passed. 3 months of hard work for Jerry from morning till night. The first machinery and tools were shipped from St. Louis to Fort Benton by steamboat, and then by wagon to Virginia City. He was forced to hire more and more men. The laughter of the miners turned to open amazement. Last word was received that Miller was returning from the east, and Jerry waited for his stage to arrive with Betty at his side.
I don't see why you're so nervous, Jerry.
I can't help it.
After all, it isn't your money that you've been spending.
That's all the more reason for me not to make mistakes. I have, Betty. I made a lot of them at first.
Well, you're not going to make any more.
When I show Miller my figures, Gosh, I hate to think of it.
Here comes the stage. Gather around, boys. The mail's here.
Now, there he is, leaning out of the window. Betty, I want to take him straight to the office and get it over with. Do you mind?
No, I'll see you tonight.
Oh, there! Oh! Oh, there! Oh, there, Bill! Oh, Piggy! Oh, there! Oh, Jim!
Now, let me through, boys. Let me through. Howdy, Mr. Miller.
Hello, Jerry. I want you to meet Al Norton.
Oh, howdy. You from the east?
Not a tenderfoot, Jerry.
I should say he isn't. He's going to work for Nugget Mountain.
Fine. But you gents must be tired, I know. Maybe you'd like to go straight to the hotel. Only, could you come over to the office first?
Anything wrong?
Not exactly. I'd just like to make my report.
Glad to hear it. Come along, Al.
There's the figures. From the bills that came with the machinery and the wages I've paid, we've spent $30,000.
And you haven't washed out an ounce of dust yet.
Not yet. We haven't even crushed any quartz. The mill runs by water power, you know. And, well, I've done my best, but there it is.
I didn't expect you to be any further ahead in this year.
You didn't?
Of course not. It's a tremendous undertaking.
Well, I picked the wrong spot to build the dam at first. We had to start all over again.
Yeah, I'm glad you discovered your mistake before the dam was built.
It cost us money.
We'll get it back. Don't worry about money. Just get on with your work and do the best you can. As a matter of fact, from now on, I'll take charge of all the financial details myself. You stay at Nugget Mountain, I'll stay here.
That suits me. I never did like figures.
I do. I think I'll go over these again. Run along, Jerry. You're doing a fine job.
Thanks, Mr. Miller. So long, Al.
Yeah. Carl.
Wait.
This whole scheme's local. $30,000 and not an ounce of dust.
I can trust you, Al, because I know you so well. I'm going to explain a few things.
It's about time.
According to the partnership agreement I signed with Jerry, I won a half interest in Nugget Mountain.
Yeah.
But while I was in the East, I decided it might not be a paying investment.
It hasn't got a chance.
So I sold my interest.
You did? And what are you hanging around here for?
I sold it 6 times.
6 people got together and bought you out?
No, Al. I sold my half interest to 6 different people. Each of them thinks he owns a half interest in Nugget Mountain.
How much did you get?
Not a cent.
Sold and you didn't get any money?
No, Al. But each of them agreed to pay half the expenses and losses of the mine. Of course, they're supposed to get half the profits, but there'll never be any profits.
I can follow you now, boss.
Let's see how we stand so far. $30,000. Half of that is 15. 6 people pay me $15,000 apiece. 90,000 for the 30 I invested.
It's like...
It's the same thing I worked on, Great Western.
Who are the 6?
Here's the list. Colonel Ferris in St. Louis. Roger Mason, New York. I was careful picking them, too. They all believe in the future of the West, and they all have plenty of money. I can get $10,000 a month from them for at least a year.
10,000?
Then, Nugget Mountain will stop operating. Very simple, Al.
As long as you keep on losing money.
How can we help it? The whole idea is absurd.
Yeah, but just the same, if it started making money, where would you be?
Yeah, I suppose.
Say,
What's the matter?
it's on Indian at that window.
You sure?
That's him out in the paint. I don't like Indians snooping around.
Put that gun in your holster. This isn't
You
Tombstone.
won't come snooping around again.
Mr. Miller!
Mr. Miller, Jerry.
Nothing. Everything's swell. One of the boys just rode down from the mine. They got the mill started this afternoon and threw some of the ore in the sluices.
Well-
We're rich.
What?
Sure, $200 for half an hour's work. We run $1,000 a day.
$1,000?
Maybe 2 or 3. We'll pay off that $30,000 in 2 weeks. And from then on, it's all profit.
The curtain falls on the first act of our Lone Ranger story. Before the next exciting scenes, please permit us to pause for just a few moments. Now to continue our story. A week after the first gold was washed out on Nugget Mountain, the sluices were cleaned out a second time and precious dust put into bags and weighed. The Lone Ranger and Tonto watched the men at work from the cover of some trees high up on the hill.
All men happy.
Yes, Jerry's the happiest of the lot.
Plenty gold dust there.
He thinks his troubles are over, Tonto. But they're only beginning.
You tell him what Miller do?
I don't think I will, Kimosabe. He's young and headstrong. He might spoil our plans. It's time we went to work, though. The first thing we have to do is find out the names of those 6 men.
Oh, Miller have list?
We'll pay him a visit tonight.
Does Jerry bring gold into town tonight?
We'll follow him to the office.
Maybe Miller keep gold, not tell men about it.
That won't work for long. Nugget Mountain will be talked about from one end of the west to the other. Even if we didn't take a hand in it, the East would hear about it sooner or later. Our job is to make it sooner and protect Jerry's life.
Yep. Your scales make it the same as mine, Miller. $10,000.
We'll apply this on our expenses.
Sure thing. And next week we'll pay them off. Tonight.
Where are you going?
To see Betty. And set the date for our wedding. Go on.
10,000 in 1 week. You've been a fool, Carl.
Shut up.
Just too smart for your own good. Now, wouldn't it be nice if you'd kept your interest in the mine and you were getting half of everything that came in?
Who could have guessed whatever amount to anything?
That kid, for instance.
Get to think.
You can't wriggle out of this. Nothing stay inside the law.
That doesn't bother me now.
Up with your
Come
hands.
ask me.
That injury we saw.
I'm glad you're being sensible.
We aren't making any trouble. That's gold dust on the desk. You're welcome to it. Do we want it? No.
No, turn around and walk it in the other room.
Did you hear me? I said...
And fast. You move.
Sure thing.
Lock it, Tonto.
Maybe him have list on him.
Even if there isn't any list, there must be letters. We have to keep in touch with them. Here,
What you find?
just names, no addresses. I know where some of these men can be found. Colonel Paris lives in St. Louis. We'll get the others later.
We go now?
Yes, Tonto. And we'll take that gold with us.
Oh, why you do that?
So Miller won't know why we came. Now, come on.
Hey, open up.
Yeah, he's gone and he took the dust.
Yeah, good riddance.
Have to notify the sheriff.
Give him time to get away. This was a lucky break. You can't expect an outlaw to hold us up every week.
I know one around here that might have liked you.
You, mean that?
Yeah. He could try.
Another hold-up's out of the question. You know an outlaw.
Sure. Lefty Doss. He and his boys are making their headquarters just outside of Bend.
Good. You can use them.
Oh,
Somehow the work at the mine must be stopped.
just make me the head man and I'll stop it for you.
We won't try that until later.
Why not?
Because it's part of Lee's contract that he have charge of the mine. To let you step in, we'd have to get rid of him.
Lefty could arrange it.
That's it. Let him arrange accidents and delays. Let him do everything he can to slow up the work.
And, explosion, maybe.
An explosion is good. Get going.
We saw you and Tonto ride up, masked man.
Is the sheriff here?
Paul?
I'm coming. You say it was the masked man?
Good evening, Sheriff. Well, I've just held up the Nugget Mountain office.
What?
I had to get some information from Miller's desk, and I didn't want him to know what we were after.
You're still working on your...
Yes, Sheriff, yes. Take the gold, Jerry.
But I don't savvy.
You don't have to.
Keep it here until everything's all over. And when Miller describes Tonto and me, don't let him know you recognize us.
You can trust me. I won't give him a tumble.
Tonto and I won't be here for a week. Take care of Jerry while we're gone.
Take care of me.
Adios.
Adios.
3 months ago, He talked about a crook. I wonder.
Another month, and you won't have to wonder anymore.
Get up, Scout! Hold Silver!
Hello, Terry.
Oh, Al. What brings you up here this time of night?
Say, can you put me up?
Oh, sure thing.
Figured I might stay around if you did.
What the... Hey, grab that lantern and come on.
What?
A blast. It sounded like it came from the mine.
Blast?
Yeah. I can't understand it, though. The men all quit work hours ago.
They're running out of the bunker.
There's the entrance just ahead there.
Something's wrong there.
I'll say there is. That blast started a landslide. It's blocked.
Tough luck. You'll have to dig it out again.
We'll have to... Al, look at this.
Sure took a hunk out of the hill.
Look, a vein of pure gold.
Gold.
We might never have hit that vein. I don't know who set that blast off, but I'd sure like to shake his hand. Come on, come running, boys. Take a look at Nugget Mountain. There's the week's take, Miller. 20,000. Better lock it up.
You don't have to worry about outlaws getting it. My deputies are posted all around. Whitey's going to stand guard all night, and tomorrow morning he'll go with you when you take it to the bank.
Thanks, Sheriff. Thanks for your trouble.
No trouble at all, Miller. After all, half of that belongs to my future son-in-law.
That's right, Pa.
10,000 belongs to Jerry, and the other 10 belongs to you. But you got to pay out 60,000 with your 10, Miller.
You can't go on.
Well, it has been going on, week after week. The word's going out from Virginia City. It won't be long before your backers start showing up.
We've got to stop him.
There's only one way to do that. I told you before. Once I'm running the mine, you won't have any more trouble. But until then...
All right. Go ahead.
You mean it?
Yes. Get him. Get him out of the way.
Dino. I'll pass the word along to Lefty tonight.
There he goes, Tonto. You better follow him and find out what they're up to now.
Oh, how to do it.
I'll ride back to the camp. You can report to me there.
Oh. Get him up, Scout. Hurry, Kimasabi.
Here, Silver.
Al, feller. Him go to outlaw camp.
Lefty Dawson's camp?
Tell him kill Jerry tonight.
Did they make any plans?
Well, Lefty take men up to mine, hour before dawn. Cabin where Jerry lived, plenty small. Them put plenty bullet through window.
They'd be sure to hit him.
That's right. And kill him. Then right way past before men catch him.
Another few days and Colonel Ferris would have been here, Kimosabe. I hope we could put Miller in jail without any gunplay. But that's impossible now. We'll ride to the sheriff's first, then we'll pay a call on Miller and Al.
Come on, Silver. Hit him up. Come.
What's the...
Where's man?
The same one that held up the office.
Don't go for your gun, Al. You're covered.
What do you want here? The tools in the safe of the office.
Hunter, get gun.
You're taking a little ride, both of you.
All right.
Where?
To Nugget Mountain.
Well, if you double-cross
No,
me...
no, I swear I haven't. All set like I told you. Why do you want us up there, masked man?
There isn't time to answer questions. It's only a few hours before dawn. Got moving. All right, climb down.
This is Jerry's cabin.
Hurry up.
You aren't gonna make us go inside, are you?
That's the idea. Get the horses out of the way, Tonto.
Time to do it. Go on, Scout.
Knock on the door, Miller.
You're an outlaw. Jerry'll have a gun.
If you want to get the drop on him, you can open the door yourself. He never locks it.
He has been lately. Knock.
All right.
What's all the commotion out there?
I can see him. He's lighting a lamp.
You won't need that for long. Nearly dawn.
Masked man. And Miller and Al.
Inside, you two.
He took his prisoner, Jerry, but the three of us could...
Good what? Put out the lamp, Jerry. and open the window and sit over there in that far corner.
Sure. Look what's this all about.
He's an outlaw. He's the one that stole the gold.
You're loco. He's the Lone Ranger.
Oh, Ranger.
In that far corner, Jerry.
Sure.
Miller, you and Al can sit on Jerry's bunk.
No.
Why not?
No reason, but...
Then don't argue.
Lone Ranger. He knows about
Quiet.
it.
We'll do what you say, masked man.
How long you going to keep us here?
Until sunrise.
No, you can't.
Why not?
That was Lefty Dawson and his gang just rode up.
I'll riddle the cabin with bullets in another minute.
Let us get down the floor anyway.
Stay where you are.
It's murder, I tell you.
How do you know that's Lefty Dawson outside?
I can see him.
You can't see a thing. I want the truth.
If you don't tell him, I will.
Go ahead.
Please. We hired him to kill Jerry.
By the dirty, low-down coyote.
How you gonna let us...
Yes, Miller. You can get out on the floor if you want to. Sheriff,
Waiting right outside the door, masked man.
then I think you heard all that's necessary. They're your prisoners.
And that just about winds it up, don't it?
I think so. Adios.
It was the sheriff. It wasn't Lefty at all.
And what happened to him?
The masked man led me and a posse to Lefty's camp. They rounded him up before they went after you.
It was only a trick to make us confess.
You did a fine job, boys. You're both under arrest for attempted murder. And Miller,
But
all those men who invested in Nugget Mountain will be paying you a call before long.
hey, you know about that?
And I guess all you can do is divvy up your share among the six of them. Sometimes it just don't pay to be so all-fired smart.
You have just heard is a copyrighted feature of the Lone Ranger Incorporated.
The man in the saddle is angular and long-legged. His skin is sun-dyed brown. The gun in his holster is gray steel and rainbow mother of pearl, its handle unmarked. People call them both the six-shooter. The NBC Radio Network presents James Stewart as the Six-Shooter, a transcribed series of radio dramas based on the life of Britt Ponsett, the Texas plainsman who wandered through the Western Territories, leaving behind a trail of still-remembered legends.
How's that, Alf? Short enough for you? I asked you if it was short enough for you.
Well, give me the mirror so I can take a look.
There. Well?
Don't look to me like you cut it at all.
Oh, now, Al.
Oh, it's still there, ain't it? Hanging down the back of my neck.
Well, I figured you'd want to be in style. Fellas in just the other day come from Kansas City. Said that's the way all Easterners are having a haircut.
Well, I ain't no Easterner, and I don't aim to be spending a quarter every week for a shave and a haircut, so start slicing it off.
Okay. You need to get the head up.
Oh, sorry, Breezy. I reckon I ain't feeling up to snuff today.
Can't say as I blame you. I heard about the town meeting last night.
Yeah.
You, told him yet?
I don't see why everybody's in such a rush all of a sudden. They waited 40 years. A couple more hours ain't gonna make no difference.
You're, gonna do it today then, huh?
Yeah, I'm gonna do it today.
Poor old Gabe. Wonder how he'll take it. I'm sure glad it ain't me that has to break the news.
Stop talking about it, Breezy, and finish my hair.
Well, Gabe's a sensible man. He's not gonna hold it against you, Alf. Seeing as how the whole town's agreed.
The whole town don't know him like I do. I was here when he first come to Yellow Crest. I don't know if it wasn't for Gabe Starbuck, there wouldn't be
Howdy,
no...
mister. Oh, you're next. It'll be a couple of minutes. Dodge City papers there if you'd like to read it while you're waiting.
Thank you. Hi.
Britt!
Now, you sit still.
Britt Ponset!
Huh?
Don't you remember me, Britt?
Why,
Alf Crandall?
Al? Al Oh, sure, I remember you. Well, what happened to your beard?
Breezy here shaved it off 3 years ago.
Oh, he did?
Yeah. A couple of the boys paid him to do it while I was asleep in the chair.
Exactly so.
I ain't never forgiven you for that, Breezy.
You could have growed it back, Al.
Well, it wouldn't have been the same. Took me 25 years to get that stand of whiskers. Besides, once Maddie seen me without 'em, folks do say I look younger.
Well, you look so young, I hardly recognize you. Huh?
Well, what about you, Brett? How's the world been treating you?
Oh, first rate.
Just hit town.
Yeah. I've been out on the Square Moon Ranch last month or so. I ran into a flock of sheep yesterday, and they gave me such a brotherly look, I decided it's high time I get a haircut.
Be right pleased to take care of you, Mr. Ponset. There. That ought to be short enough, Al.
Well, feels like you got some of it off anyhow.
Just let me give you a little brush. All right, there you go. Oh, thanks. Sit right down, Mr. Ponset. Well, what'll it be? Shave and a haircut?
Haircut will do it.
Well, you might as well have a shave, too, as long as you're here. I got the kettle on. The towels will be real hot. Why, you won't even feel the razor.
No, I don't think
No matter how good a man is at shaving himself, it's not the same as having a barber do it.
Oh,
now, you take having a horse shod. You don't do that yourself unless it's an emergency. You go to an expert. Well, it sure seems to me a man's face ought to be as important as his horse.
Yes, but
it seems to me that when a fellow wants to get a...
All right, Reggie. You can give me a shave, too.
Yes, sir, Mr. Fonzie. Yes, sir. I'll just trim some of this hair off while the water's warming up.
You gonna be around town for a spell, Britt?
Just overnight, Al. I'm due back to Square Moon tomorrow.
Well, I'd sure like to stay and chew the fat, but I'm due over to Gabe Starbuck's office.
Oh, say, how is he? Gabe. Gee, I haven't seen higher than the tail of him. Must be over 4 years.
Oh, that's right. You and him used to be real good friends, didn't
Oh,
you, Britt?
we sure did. Gabe Starbuck gave me my first pony.
Well, as a matter of fact, he's aging, Brett. He's aging fast.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. He's not down sick.
No, Gabe wouldn't let himself get down no matter how he felt.
What's he up to nowadays?
Same as ever.
Well, you mean he's still sheriff?
Yeah, he's still sheriff. At least he is today.
Oh?
Truth is, we had a meeting just last night. Decided the town's got to have a new sheriff. And that's what I'm going over to talk to Gabe about now.
You don't want it too short, do you, Mr. Ponset? Fellows in from Kansas City the other day says back there folks ain't cutting their hair so short anymore.
Well, you better trim it pretty close, Breezy. I may not be in a barbershop again for quite some time.
Whatever you say, if there's many people around here don't want to be in style.
Nobody wants to get rid of old Gabe, Britt. The town's changed. Well, we got near 700 people living here now.
That many?
Yeah, there's a new bank, too. Maybe you saw it.
Yes, I did, yes.
Not doing very good, though. Folks are afraid their money won't be safe. Oh, we haven't had any robberies, not for quite a spell. And as long as Gabe's sheriff, well, there's not much he could do to stop an outlaw if one did happen to come our way. You know, old Gabe being so old and all.
Yeah.
Doggone it. Britt, we all realize that we owe him an awful lot. He cleaned up Yellowcrest. Made it possible for decent people to live here. Of course, that was 40 years ago. Things are a lot different now. We gotta have us a new sheriff, that's all.
Mm-hmm. Does Gabe know you're planning on replacing him?
No. We ain't told him yet, but can't put it off much longer.
I see. It's gonna hurt him pretty bad, isn't it?
Well, how would you feel if it was your place? You give your life to a town, your whole life, and they say, we're sorry, but we gotta put you out to pasture. You're too old.
Mm-hmm. Well, maybe if he was to have a deputy.
Oh, we talked about that. Town ain't rich enough to afford 2 salaries.
Mm-hmm. Well, Gabe's got a good, sensible head on his shoulders.
That's what I said, Mr. Ponset. That's just what I said.
He probably won't like the idea of losing his job, not at first, but he'll see that you don't have much choice in the thing.
Now, you just lean back. That's better. And be sure and tell me if this towel's too hot.
Ooh.
A little warm?
I'm real glad you don't think we're being too hard on Gabe, Britt. Say, gives me an idea. Well, seeing as how you understand the predicament we're in, about Gabe, I mean, maybe you wouldn't mind sort of preparing him?
No, wait, just a minute, Alf.
Now, your old friend, you said so yourself. It'll be different having the news come from you.
No, it's not my concern.
Here's another towel, Mr. Ponset. Now, just lean back.
You're going to be seeing him anyway, Britt. Now, all you have to do is kind of lead the conversation around to him retiring, lay the foundation, and then later on, when everything gets...
I won't do it, Al. I won't do it. Now, you're just wasting your breath. You just...
How in thunder am I going to get this lather on, Mr. Ponset, if you keep moving around like that?
I'm only asking you to talk to Gabe because, well, I'm going to have to say the wrong thing. You know me, Britt, always putting my foot in my mouth.
Hold still.
Now, Al, I tell you, you're not going to put...
Your own fault, Mr. Ponset. Now, I told you to keep quiet.
Please, he's right. Just sort of take it easy, Britt, while I sort of explain what I had in mind. And then if you still aren't willing...
Between the shaving and the hot towels and Al harping at me, well, not that I agreed to tell Gabe the town was getting a new sheriff. I didn't agree to that, mind you, but all I said was that I'd sort of feel him out and see how the land was lying. Anyway, about 20 minutes later, I was coming along the boardwalk heading for Gabe's office. Well, it sure sounded like shooting to me. When I looked around, nobody seemed to be paying any attention. The fellows arguing politics over the post office steps. They didn't even stop to take a breath. And the ladies in Johnson's Mercantile, they went right on measuring yardage like they hadn't even heard it. Well, I was pretty sure where it was coming from now. I was right behind the sheriff's office. Opened the front door. No sign of Gabe. No sign of anybody, for that matter. And, then I saw him. Right through the back window. And I saw why folks hadn't been very upset about the gunfire. Gabe was having himself a little target practice out there, aiming at a tin can sitting on a pile of lumber. It had just been 4 years since I'd seen him last, but he looked good 10 years older. Smaller, too, kind of shrunk and bent over with thin yellow-gray hair and long, bony arms that didn't seem to have much meat on them. Yeah, he sure wouldn't have much luck hitting that tin can, either. Hello, Gabe.
Who?
No, it's Brett Ponton.
I'll be doggone. Well, it's sure good to see you. Yeah, for a second there, I didn't recognize you. His son got my eyes. I blinded me, son.
Sure. How are you, Gabe?
Well, never better. Never felt better in my life.
Glad to hear it.
Well, I was just doing a little shooting.
Yeah, I saw you.
Well, not that I need any practice, you understand, Britt. I was worried about one of my guns. I think it throws a little to the left.
I say.
Yeah, that's why I missed my last shot. in case you saw me miss it.
Oh, well, a man can't hit anything if his gun's not working.
Yeah. Well, let's go inside where we can sit down and have a talk.
Fine.
Yeah. Well, you're looking good, Brett. Real good.
Oh, well, a little older, maybe. Well, I guess that happens to all of us, doesn't it?
Oh, I don't know. Man's only as old as he feels.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Hey, just take that chair, Britt, over there.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah. I'll sit by the window here, where I can keep an eye out on the street.
I was kind of surprised to hear that you're still sheriff, Gabe.
Huh. Don't see why it should have surprised you.
Well, you know, you must be getting along, Gabe.
Well, I'm 64, Britt. 64 this spring.
Now, Gabe.
Well, might be 65. The family never kept no records. But I ain't no older than that.
No.
Don't look no older.
No.
Do I?
Oh, no.
Huh.
You still living alone?
Well, of course I'm still living alone. You think I need a keep or something?
Oh, no, I was just wondering if you ever got a hold of that ranch you used to talk about, that's all. You remember?
Ranch?
Yeah, don't you remember that? When I was a kid, you always said someday you're going to have a ranch. After you'd retire from being sheriff, of course.
Oh, I still aim to do it. When the time comes. Of course, there ain't no sense in thinking about it now.
Oh?
No. Yellow Crest is growing, but growing fast. That's when the town needs law and order the most. When it's busting its britches. And seeing as how I'm the only experienced lawman in these parts, well, it's my duty to stay on the job. I owe it to the folks here. Why, if I was even to think about retiring, well, they just wouldn't know what to do. They'd be plumb helpless. Well, I ain't got no choice, Britt. You know how it is.
Sure, Gabe. I know.
We'll return to James Stewart as the six-shooter in just a moment. The winter brings extra hazards to the motorist and the pedestrian. Longer hours of darkness, poor visibility caused by snow, rain, and fog, and slippery streets call for extra caution. The National Safety Council urges that for safety, every motorist should always adjust speed to road and weather conditions. Keep the windshield clear. Never slam on your brakes if the road is wet or slippery. Pump them slowly to slow down or stop. Use tire chains on snow and ice. And keep a safe distance between your car and the one ahead. Guard against that one accident that might take your life or ruin it. Now, Act Two of The Six-Shooter, starring James Stewart as Britt Ponsett.
We had a long talk, Gabe and me, sitting there in the office watching the wagons creak along outside the window. I guess we've about covered everything. Folks we've known the whole time. The only thing we didn't discuss was Gabe's retiring from sheriff. Anyhow, after I left him, I had supper and took a little stroll. Oh, it must have been about 9 o'clock when I got settled down for the night in my room in the Parker Hotel. The bed was real comfortable, a lot softer than those bunks out at Square Moon Ranch. Maybe that's why I had so much trouble dropping off to sleep. Yeah? Yeah, who is it?
Al Crandall. You sleep, Brett?
Oh, no. Come on in, Al. Oh, come on in, Al. I'll just get this lamp turned over here. There we are.
I didn't mean to wake you. Ned Parker told me you only turned in a few minutes ago.
Yeah, no, pull up a chair.
Thanks. No. I was looking for you this evening after supper.
Well, I went for a walk.
Oh?
You were right, Al. Yellow Crest sure has changed. That's a fine new church going up there to the creek.
Yeah. Well, what I wanted to find out that was
Lots of new buildings over south, too. Mighty fancy houses. Some of them look like they're going to be 2 stories high.
Brave.
Over there. Yeah?
How'd he take it?
Why, how did he take what? Oh, you mean Gabe?
Well, who else would I mean? Well?
Well, I didn't tell him, Al. I told you I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it.
Oh, I don't blame you, Brett. I shouldn't have asked you in the first place. It was my job.
I did kind of hint around once or twice, but I could see what it did to him. Just the idea of not being sheriff anymore. It's all he's got, Al. He doesn't have a family and kids to worry about. Gabe's the sheriff of Yellowcrest, and if he ever stops being the sheriff, he won't be anything.
I know, Brett. I know, but what can we...
What's that?
The alarm bell. Must be a fire, I reckon. There's Mark Fawcett running down the street there. He'll know. Oh, on this window. Stuck tighter. There. Mark! Mark, up here, Mark! What are they ringing the bell for?
Somebody robbed the bank.
The bank?
We're reaching over to Sheriff's office.
Guess it was bound to happen sooner or later, Brett.
Yeah. Hand me my pants, will you? The bell was still ringing when Alf and I rode up to Gabe's office. Everybody in town must have heard of it by now. There were 10 or 12 men standing around the streets, others coming up from all directions. Gabe was standing right by his horse, right in the middle of things, taking charge. There wasn't much doubt about it. He was still sheriff of Yellowcrest.
Britt, you boys know Britt Ponce, don't you?
Yeah, what happened, Gabe?
Well, it was just an accident. I seen him. An accident, pure and simple. They was riding out of the alley from behind the bank, giving the horses a spur. Couldn't get a look at their faces, but the way they was riding, that made me suspicious.
Uh-huh.
So I thought maybe I ought to see if everything was all right at the bank. Went around to check. Back door was broke open, wide open. People are scattered around inside. Jim Waterby's over there now trying to find out how much they took.
They try to follow them, the outlaws.
Well, they was gone before I knew they was outlaws. Before I knew for certain, that is. But I seen which way they headed. East.
That don't make sense, Gabe. They'd have to cross the Salt Flats if they went east.
That's the way they went. Right toward the flats.
You must have been seeing things. Man, to be a fool to strike out that way.
200 miles without a water hole.
I bet you turned off, went up in them hills.
Well, I'm the one who seen them, ain't I?
$2,500, Gabe. That's what they stole.
Oh, that's so, Jim.
A sack of gold and a sack of currency. 2,500 as close as I can figure it.
Well, boys, let's see if we can pick up the trail. Easy, Rusty, easy.
They'll determine to chase them out onto them flats.
Yeah, we want to catch them, don't we?
If we do, we got to use our heads, Gabe. Men smart enough to rob that bank ain't going to take a chance on dying out there in that salt. They go for the hills.
Mark is right, Gabe.
You tell me I can't believe my own eyes.
Yeah, they were dark. Maybe they got confused. Maybe it looked like they was heading east.
We're only wasting time arguing with him. Let's go.
I'm the sheriff of Yellowcrest. I'm running this posse, ain't I?
Gabe, we're riding toward the ridge.
All right. Come on, Rusty. Come on.
Gabe! Hey, Gabe!
You can't stop him, Red. When he gets his mind set, nobody can stop him.
Guess this just proves we was right about Gabe. He ain't up to the job of being sheriff no more. Okay, boys, I'll lead the way.
Come on. Oh, you've got enough man without me.
Look, Stout!
I watched them winding along toward the rise of purple hills west of town. After a couple of minutes, the night swallowed them up, and the hoof beats trickled off into silence. All right, Scar, come on. I turned Scar east. It wasn't like Gabe to be stubborn about something as important as a bank robbery. Oh, I'll grant you, it didn't seem very sensible for a couple of bandits to take off across the salt flats. And Gabe's eyesight wasn't, or had been once, of course, but I just couldn't believe he'd be dead wrong. Scar threw up his head when the smell of salt hit his nose. He sure didn't like the idea of walking out into it. Easy, boy, easy now, easy now. We're not going very far. Come on now. Nothing but white as far as you could see. stretch out taut like a cavalry blanket. White salt picking up the moonlight and bouncing along ahead of us. The funny thing, though, there was only one set of hoof prints out there in the flats. Well, about 10 minutes later, I spotted Gabe. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. He wasn't riding very fast, so I slowed up. I figured it was just as well Gabe didn't see me. I didn't want him to think that I'd tagged along because I was worried about him, you know. And then the darndest thing happened. He swung his horse around and started backtracking. Here, boy. Come on. I scar over behind a couple of gray boulders so we'd be out of sight. And Gabe came right toward us. At first, I thought he knew where we were. Then he turned his horse again and walked him out, and I saw it. And for a couple of minutes, I couldn't figure out what he was up to. It seemed to me like he was just wandering around, no purpose at all. And then the next thing that happened was even stranger yet. Gabe jerked his gun out of his horse and he began firing. But he wasn't aiming at anything. As far as I could see, he was just shooting up into the sky. He left off 2 or 3 more shots and wheeled around and galloped past me on his way back to town. And I saw him reach in his saddlebags and bring out a couple of cloth sacks and hook them over his saddle horn. They were the kind of sacks banks used for carrying money. Well, there just wasn't any doubt about it now. The story of that bank robbery was something Gabe had made up out of whole cloth. Oh, somebody had broken into the bank, all right. It wasn't an outlaw, though. It was Gabe. Well, I waited maybe 15 minutes. Then I heard the alarm bell start off again. The posse was pulled up in front of Gabe's office. Bell must have brought him out of the hills. Gabe was handing the cloth sacks to Jim Waterby. I pulled up just in time to hear the tail end of what he was saying.
Sure, I hit him, you understand. This gun of mine's been thrown a bit to the left lately. But when I started shooting, they dropped these here bags and went galloping off. By the time I stopped to pick up the money, I reckon that's what's in them, well, them outlaws was just plumb out of sight. Yes, sir. I figured there wasn't much need of chasing them no further. Like as not, they'll never make it cross the salt anyway.
Now, you did right, Gabe.
Yeah.
And it looks like it's all here. Every cent.
Hey, Britt, you hear what happened? Gabe caught up with the bandits, shot it out with them, and brung back what they stole.
Did he?
That don't seem possible. Them having a head start and all.
Well, you know Rusty when I give him his head.
Well, maybe the bandits was lost. Maybe they didn't know about them flats.
Yeah, I reckon they didn't. I reckon that's it.
If they knew where the bank was, they'd know about that salt.
Yeah, that's right.
What are you getting at, Mark?
I don't know. There's something funny about this. There's 2 of them, you said.
That's right.
2 of them against you?
Well, what's so funny about that? Many's the time I shot it out with more than 2 men.
Let's ride out there, boys, and have a look around.
Well, whatever you say, Mark.
Sure.
Hold on a minute. I think maybe I can save you a trip. The fact is, I was following Gabe. Yeah, I followed him right out on the flat.
What?
Oh, I know you didn't see me, Gabe. I was behind you, but I could see you just plain as day.
Now, Britt, you gotta let me...
You mean you've seen the gunfight, too?
Listen to me, Britt, listen to me.
Was he telling the truth, Britt?
Yeah, that's right, was it?
Well, I'll tell you one thing. I never saw a fight like that before, not in my whole life.
Really?
What about the bandits, Britt? You get a chance to recognize them?
No, I'm afraid it didn't.
Didn't stick around, eh? Once Gabe started shooting?
No, Well, as a matter of fact, when Gabe was through shooting, well, it was like they hadn't even been there.
I'll be darned.
Mm-hmm. That's what it was, all right. Just like they hadn't been there at all. I don't know how Gabe had found out that the town was talking about having a new sheriff. I guess he sort of sensed it, the way folks have been acting. Of course, after this hold-up, well, they figured out maybe they could afford giving him a deputy. Jim Waterby, that's the banker. He put up part of the money, and then they didn't have much trouble raising the rest. I had a little talk with Gabe before I left town. We didn't mention that night out on the flag, neither one of us. But he did give me his word that the next time there's any trouble, well, he'd let his deputy do a good share of taking care of it. But the way things worked out, though, there haven't been any more robberies in Yellow Crest. Not one single solitary robbery. They say it's because of Sheriff Gabe. Outlaws just don't want to tangle with him. They all must have heard about what happened that time a couple of them tried to hold up the Yellow Crest bank.
I wonder if you really know how much good you're doing every time you buy Christmas seals. Well, let me tell you something. Something I think will amaze you. It's simply this. Over 6 million lives have been saved in the fight against tuberculosis since the first Christmas seal was sold. In other words, what you actually buy when you buy Christmas seals is priceless protection for yourself, your family, and your community. So, please answer your Christmas seal letter today. The Six Shooter is an NBC Radio Network production in association with Review Productions. It is based on a character created by Frank Burt, and the transcribed story is written by him. Mr. Stewart may currently be seen in the Universal International picture, The Glenn Miller Story. Others in the cast were Herb Vigran, John Stevenson, Lamont Johnson, Dal McKinnon, and Old Gabe was played by Bill Johnstone. Special music for this program was by Basil Adlam, and the entire production is under the direction of Jack Johnstone. All characters and incidents were fictitious, and any resemblance to actual characters or incidents is purely coincidental. And now, from all of us who each week bring you the Six Shooter, a special salute to NBC-affiliated station WGBF, Evansville, Indiana, on the occasion of their 30th anniversary. Happy anniversary, WGBF, and best wishes to all of your listeners. This is Hal Gibney speaking. Tonight, hear Lily Palmer and Rex Harrison in the NBC Star Playhouse on the NBC Radio Network.
Here's adventure. Here's romance. Here's the famous Robin Hood of the Old West.
Cisco, the sheriff is getting closer.
This way, Pancho, vámonos. The Cisco Kid. Now, the Cisco Kid and our exciting story, Chain Lightning. In the days of the Old Southwest, when order was established more often than not with a six-gun, many a killer and bandit serving a prison sentence received a pardon from the governor of the state on promise to uphold the law. So it was that early one fall morning, the gates of the penitentiary opened, and a slim, hard-eyed young man walked through its freedom.
Good luck, man. That's what I aim to have, Ward.
Howdy, Martin. See you bought me your horse.
I sure did, Brent. Mighty glad to see you out. Jake.
Nope. I ain't shaking hands with anyone. Bring along my guns?
Yep, right here.
But I've been waiting to get my hands on it. Waiting for 3 years.
No reason why you didn't shake hands with me, though, Brent. You and me used to be partners.
Yeah, we did.
I'd have served time with you, except that I didn't take part in that stage hold-up. I was out of town at the time.
I guess you're all right, Martin. But From now on, I ain't partners with any man. Come on. Let's get out of here. Get up.
Get up there, boy. Come on. You're coming back home to Blue Jay?
Sure. For a while, anyway. Got a couple of debts to pay there. Is that coyote, the Cisco kid, around anywhere?
Oh, come to think of it, Brent, he is. Camped outside of town.
Bill Shannon still there?
Bill? Sure. He ain't sheriff anymore, though.
He was sheriff when I was set up. That's what I'm remembering. Now, this is far enough. Hold it.
Oh, there, boy. Whoa. What are you going to do?
I'm going to try out these guns. Go ahead, Martin. Draw.
Hey, wait. I ain't gunfighting you.
There you are. All I want you to draw for is timing for me. See that little sapling?
Yeah?
I'm going to blast it 3 times before you can draw, Martin. When I count 3. Ready?
Go ahead.
1, 2, 3.
My thunder, you did it, Brent. Before I could even get my guns out of their holsters. And I'm faster than the draw myself.
I've had 3 years to practice up, Martin. I made myself a dummy gun in the tool shop, and for hours at a time I draw and drop fire.
Brent, I've seen a Cisco kid draw, and I thought he was fast, but you got him beat. Why, man, you're pure chain lightning.
That's what Bill Shannon and Cisco are going to find out. Right quick.
You're wearing your guns this morning.
Why, yeah, I just seem to be wearing them, don't I, Phil?
But you never wear them around town here. What's the idea?
Oh, every once in a while I like to strap them. Just in case a coyote with a rabies is coming to town.
No, there's some reason. And I want to know what it is.
Well, you just keep your eyes and ears open, because maybe there seems to be quite a crowd out. Here comes a rider.
Oh, it's that Martin Joe.
Oh, boy, boy. Hey, John, can I see you a minute?
Well, I'm right here. What do you want?
Well,
You can say it in front of me, whatever it is.
Brent Tucker's riding into town.
I figured he'd be. He got out this morning.
Brent Tucker. Oh, that's why you're wearing those guns, Bill.
Now, wait a minute, Steve. Go on, Mark.
Brent told me to ride ahead and tell you he was coming.
What for? So I can still yell and leave town?
Well, I don't know, but if I was you, Shannon, I sure would leave town. Brent's deadly with them guns of his.
It's coming now!
Well, thanks for the warning, Joey. But I'll stick around.
All right.
Fix yourself. You better go on back home.
I won't go home. Oh, Bill, please be sensible about this. That Brent Tucker's a killer. And when you arrested him, he swore he'd get you when he got out of prison. Please.
Phyllis, a man's self-respect is mighty important.
But
Now, don't say any more about it, dear.
Oh, dear.
Well, I'm full. I didn't hear no cheers. I'm looking for Bill Shannon. Anybody know where he is? Skip down.
I'm right here.
Huh? Step over where I can get a good look at
Sure.
You're not going to take a fight with him, Brent Tucker. I won't have
Hello.
it. I won't have it. Do you hear me?
Oh, something out of that. Sound real pretty, too.
Never mind the talk. What are you going to do?
You got guns on you, Shannon. Use them.
No, no.
All right, I will.
Oh, you thief, you
Your
murderer.
brother's no president, fellas. That clears me. Hey, there's Cisco kids around here. Somebody go tell him I'm waiting on him. Tell him for every hour he don't get here, I'm gunning down one of you hombres.
I'll go tell him. And I hope he kills you, you thief. I hope he kills you slowly.
Come on, you old stump. Pancho pulled you on the ground. Pancho pulled. Pancho.
What do you think, Pancho? Pancho tried to pull this old stump out of the ground, Cisco, but the old stump's not come out.
I would help you. You want to use it for firewood, amigo?
See, Pancho think it'd make a nice fire tonight when it gets cold.
I think it would, too. Let's both try to pull it out of the ground.
Cisco, be careful. The ground very slippery here, Cisco. And Pancho is still water from the spring.
Yeah, I will be careful.
Uh-huh.
All right, now, Pancho.
Come on. Up. This way, Cisco.
Hey, but very slowly. Once more now, Pancho. Come on.
Let's go.
Oh, the storm come out so fast, we both fall down, Cisco.
Here we did.
Why do you hold your wrist, Cisco? You hurt?
I fell. I landed on him, Chico. Ah, he's nothing.
Not good to fall on your wrist, Cisco. And Pancho, look and see. Cisco break the bone, no?
No, I do not think the bone is broken, Pancho. I can move the wrist a little bit.
Pancho, I can look what to do for this sprained wrist, Cisco.
Oh, it will cure itself, Pancho. Ah, we have a visitor.
Senorita.
Buenos dias, señorita.
Buenos dias, senorita.
See, I am.
Can you come into town right away?
See, if necessary, señorita. You look very worried.
Oh, I am worried. Greg Tucker just shot down my brother. You know him, Bill Shannon.
See, I know Bill Shannon very well.
Well, Tucker shot him. I don't know whether Bill's going to live or not. And now Tucker says if you don't come to town, he's going to shoot down someone every hour.
Pancho, think that Brent Tucker likes to shoot people.
He's a devil. He swears he's going to get you too, sister.
I think not, señorita. You may ride back and tell these Brent Tucker that Pancho and I are on our way in.
Oh, I knew you'd help us. I'll tell him.
But Cisco, you could
Be there before the hour is up, señorita.
All right. Get up, boys. Get up. Get up.
Cisco, Pancho, remember that Brent Tucker, he a bad gun fighter.
Hey, so I will wear my guns loose in the holster, Pancho.
Cisco's wrist. Cisco not draw the gun to pass.
Pancho, I forgot me this for a moment. Let me see. All right, amigo. Very clumsy to draw with these wrists.
When we not go to the town, Cisco.
I gave the señorita my word, amigo.
Pancho not can help you. Pancho wants Cisco with the gun fight anyhow. But Cisco with the gun fight with his sprained wrist. Cisco gets killed.
I have no intention of getting killed, Pancho. Perhaps these Brent Tucker can be talked out of a gunfight.
Pancho not want Cisco to go.
But I am going, Pancho, because I must. Come. We are wasting time. Up, yeah.
Go, Brent Tucker, I'll be gun fight now. Go now, go. Cisco, please not go to the cafe.
We were told we would find Brent Tucker in the cafe, Pancho, and that is where we are going.
Cisco gets killed. Pancho know he gets killed with that sprained wrist.
True, I cannot draw very quickly, Pancho, but I'm not going to worry. Now, come. There's no use in talking more about it. Oh, they let you out of jail, hombre. Was a sad mistake.
It's a sad mistake for you to come in here, too, Suppose you know why I sent for you, sister.
Oh, did you send for me? I was not aware of that. I do not usually answer such a summons from an hombre like you.
Don't try to be funny. They tell me you're pretty fast with your gun, Cisco. They tell me you're faster than anybody else around. Well, I'm even faster, see?
Very possible.
I'm going to prove it by killing you.
You talk big, hombre.
You got a hand in getting me arrested and sent up. I ain't forgetting that, Cisco. Not even for 1 minute. I've just been waiting until I could get out and fight. I ain't gonna hurry you. I'm enjoying it too much.
Perhaps you and I should sit down at a table and talk the matter over.
There's nothing to talk over.
Of course, you know that with all these gunfighting, you are likely to find yourself back in prison again. This time for life.
It'll be worth it, Cisco, to get you.
Try it with your fist.
Afraid of me, huh? I always thought you were.
Come, hombre. Talk is cheap. I do not enjoy talking with you.
All right, then I'll act. Go for your gun, Cisco, and go for it sudden, because I'm sure going for mine.
Pancho, I think so.
Pancho, why did you do that?
Pancho, I want Cisco the gun fight. And Pancho knocked his hombre out with a big bottle over the head.
Cisco, you're yellow. You told Pancho to do that.
Cisco not tell me to do this. You...
That's right, he don't. You had it planned ahead of time, Cisco. You're yellow. Come on, let's throw him out of here.
You saw Cisco yellow. Pancho, he's you with the fight too.
Oh, no, you won't.
Very well.
Cisco not fight, Pancho fight.
Hear that? Cisco's too yellow to fight with his fist, even.
That is what you may think, hombre. But if I can get over there where you are...
I mean, Cisco got his sword.
Sure. Open the door, somebody, and we'll throw him out of here. Come
town, you yellow belly, or we'll tar and feather you.
Cisco. Cisco, you mad at Pancho? Cisco.
No, I'm not mad at you, amigo. Did what you thought was the right thing. But that is the first time in my life I've ever been thrown out of a cafe by such a gang of pack rats. Pancho, I'm going back in there now.
But with his sprained wrist, Cisco can do little fighting. In just a moment, we'll return to the Cisco Kid. Now, back to the Cisco Kid and our exciting story, Chain Lightning. Worried because he knew his idol Cisco with a sprained wrist would be an easy mark for gunfighter Brent Tucker, Pancho struck Tucker down from behind just as both men were about to draw. The cafe crowd, the inferring as Cisco had told Pancho to strike Tucker with a bottle, and therefore was afraid of him, ganged up on Cisco and Pancho and threw them out into the street.
Now, or not, I'm going back into that cafe.
No, Cisco. Cisco, listen to Pancho, please, Cisco.
Pancho, I tell you, I'm not going to stand for that kind of treatment.
But Cisco not can fight good with a bad wrist. Cisco always told Pancho to sing. Now Pancho tells Cisco to sing. There's the senorita. Senorita! Pancho wants Cisco to go back in the cafe, senorita. And Cisco say he go. Senorita, please tell Cisco.
Why, Cisco? You mustn't go back in there.
Cisco got a sprained wrist, senorita. He's sick. He's all sprained up, no?
Yeah, I should say it is. Did you have that when I rode out to your camp, Cisco?
Si, senorita. But that is no reason for me to act the part of a coward.
You mean you were going to gunfight Brent Tucker with your wrist like that?
Yes, senorita. And Cisco not saying nothing about it.
Well, anybody who calls you a coward after that will have to deal with me. No, Cisco, please. Be sensible. Don't go back in there.
Was Tucker badly hurt?
Oh, here they're taking them to the doctor, Cisco. Probably to get some treatment. That's true. We won't be able to harm anyone in town for the next couple of hours.
But after that, he'll be very ugly, no doubt.
Probably.
That will give me some time to fix his wrist.
Come to the house, Cisco, and I'll be there.
But I think I know the best treatment. How is your brother?
Oh, the doctor thinks he may pull through. I just pray that he will.
I pray so too, senorita. Very well. I will change my mind and not go back into that cafe. But if you wish, you can get word to Brent Tucker that I will be back in the town within 2 hours. Then he will not have to look for me, for I will be looking for him. Come, Pancho. Pancho, back a little more that way around the room.
Yes.
No. It's much better now.
Good. That will be the most well-made now and now.
Throwing out the information, Pancho. I think I can use it much more easily.
Pancho hope so.
Hey, let me try it and see. What's off this way? It's gone down a great deal, Pancho.
Still not look too good to Pancho.
He's not perfect yet, but he's much better. I think I can use that wrist very nicely. One more thing, Pancho.
What?
Tear up that old shirt and find the recycle.
Yes. Pancho do like Cisco says. But Pancho I think even then Cisco be ready to gunfight with Brent Tucker.
But I am going to gunfight with him, Pancho, if that is what he wants. Gunfighting is the only kind of language that nobody understands. Come, find the wrist, and we will go find Brent Tucker.
Hey, Brent.
Huh?
Brent Tucker.
What you want, Mark?
Nothing. I thought you'd still be at the dock. Did he pick you up all right?
Yeah, he took a half dozen stitches. I'm all right now.
Where you going?
Cisco Kid ain't still around, is he?
He turned yellow on you, Brent. And that partner of his hit you down so he wouldn't have to draw with you. He left town.
So I heard. Well, there's time enough to get in. I'm fixing to get married now, Martin.
Married?
Yeah. Reason why I shouldn't.
Oh, no, of course not. Only, well, I didn't think of you as the marrying kind. Who's the girl?
Shannon girl.
Phyllis Shannon?
She got spunk, that one.
Notice the way she stood up to me after I gunned down her brother?
She wouldn't marry you, Brent. Not after getting her brother.
I got an idea she would. Come on, Martin, we'll see. You can be my best man.
Gonna settle down, huh?
Maybe, maybe not. You caught my eye, Martin. I like them spunky like that. Nice, mighty pretty girl.
Yeah, no doubt about that.
Yeah, here's the house. Come on, we'll go in.
You ain't got a chance.
We'll see. How do you again, Miss Phyllis?
What do you want?
I want to talk to you.
Well, I don't want to talk to you.
Now, wait a minute. Shut that door in my face. Something I don't like. Me and Martin's coming in. How's your brother, Miss Phyllis?
He's going to recover. No thanks to you. Now get out of this house, both of you.
He's going to recover. Maybe.
What do you mean?
If you marry me.
If I what?
You want your brother to keep on living, don't you, Miss Phyllis?
You kill him? When he can't even raise a finger to defend himself?
Afraid I would.
When you won't, I'll take this gun and... Let me go, you...
That's it. Sure, I'll let you go. Now. I guess you was right, Martin. He ain't gonna marry you. I'll have to go finish off Shannon.
Oh, no, wait. What is there going to
I
do?
ain't much on patience, Miss Phyllis, and I meant just what I said.
All right. All right, I'll marry you. I can't do anything else.
Yeah, all right.
But I can't get married like this. You'll have to give me time to change my dress and fix up a little.
You look good to me, just as you are. Come on. I'll go right over to the preacher's now.
Hold over. Slow down.
This time, Pancho, I think we will get a different sort of reception in that cafe.
Cisco, you think friends trouble in the cafe, huh?
I do not know. I hope so.
Cisco, look as if he's killed.
I do not kill people, amigo. You know that. But I'm going to get the idea out of his head that he can go around killing people. And this time, Pancho, do not hit anyone with a bottle.
Pancho not hit anyone with a bottle, Cisco. This time, Pancho hit him with a spear.
I am looking for Brent Tucker. Well, speak up.
Pancho think they lose their tongues, Cisco.
It would seem so. You, with a cigar in your mouth. I believe you were calling me yellow before. What have you to say now?
Easy, Cisco. I didn't say nothing.
You had better not. Go find Brent Tucker for me.
Come on, everybody. You're invited to a wedding. Oh, I didn't see you, Cisco.
Whose wedding, hombre?
Well, Brent.
Who would marry him?
That's none of your business, Cisco.
See, it is my business. Answer me or I'll take your teeth through.
Easy, let go.
Marion Phyllis Shannon.
Senorita Shannon.
That's not right, Cisco. Not after he shoot a brother.
No, it is not right. It's very wrong. Tell me, hombre, does the senorita want to marry him?
Why, sure.
Answer me truthfully.
Yes. Brent told her he'd finish off her brother if he didn't marry.
I thought it might be something like that. Where are they now?
The preacher.
Very well. Pancho, you will go to the preacher, but you will not witness any wedding.
I presume I have your consent to perform this ceremony, Phyllis.
Well, I...
You have.
Yes.
Well, I must say you don't look like a girl who's anxious to be married.
That's none of your business. Get on with your job, preacher, unless you want trouble with me.
Very well. Dearly beloved, we are gathered together here.
I can't go through with it. I can't.
Just a moment.
Better go through with it, Phyllis.
Oh, Cisco. See. Brent Tucker here?
What? What do you know?
Come outside.
Sure. Sure, I'll come outside. You wait here, Miss Phyllis.
No, I'm going home. I can't stand any more of this.
You run along as soon as I finger this yellow belly.
Hombre, there are very few men I can say I hate. But I come as near to hating you as anyone I have ever seen. You'll fight with feet or guns, as you wish.
Got your nerve up to fight, have you? All I gotta do is yell and you'll run.
There will be no running, hombre. Well, take your choice.
I do not fight with guns.
Very well. Move out in the street.
Cisco, be careful. I don't like these gunfights.
I do not like them either, amigo, but there is no other choice. You are a low-down, crawling coyote, Brent Tucker. You threaten the senorita unless she agrees to marry you. She is not going to marry you.
Who's gonna stop me?
Go for your gun and you will find out.
Just what I'm going to do.
Now! Your arm is not badly hurt. I give you warning, Brent Tucker. Either you leave town right away or I will finish what I have started.
I will can't beat that draw of yours. No man can.
I mean what I say, hombre. I'll be waiting to see that you do leave town. Pronto.
That ought to slide, Cisco. We haven't got to the pieces left in the deal.
Then I'm glad I got this, or I would not have you die.
I know it doesn't seem very serious now. The other day it did.
I can understand that it would.
Bill wants me to start to see.
Well, he's still improving, I trust.
Oh, yes. He's a lot better now, thank goodness. But
See?
you are sure that Brent Tucker won't come back to you?
I am very sure, senorita.
Oh, that's the best news I've heard in a long time.
But what, senorita?
Your promise to come back to me.
It will be a pleasure to keep that promise. But now I must be going.
That's the way you said goodbye.
No, senorita. This way. Oh, senorita.
Cisco,
Hey, Pancho.
sometime we ride to the ocean, no?
Hey, sometime we can ride to the ocean, amigo. Have you ever seen the ocean?
Pancho the ocean, Cisco.
Have you ever been on the ocean?
Pancho on the ocean once, Cisco. And Pancho never want to go on the ocean again.
Oh, did you get seasick, Pancho?
No, Pancho like his seasick, Cisco. And Pancho lose all his clothes on the ocean.
Oh, your clothes?
His shirts, boots, pantalones, everything.
Well, tell me about it, Pancho.
Pancho go on a boat trip.
On a big boat, Chico?
Oh, big boat, see. We sleep on the boat in a little cabin.
Well, how did you lose your clothes?
First, Pancho take off his clothes to go to bed.
Go to bed, see?
And then Pancho look around for a place to hang his clothes.
See?
Pancho not see any place to hang his clothes, but Pancho see a round hole in the wall. So Pancho take to the closet and put all his clothes in there. But it's only a round hole, Cisco.
A round hole in the boat, amigo?
See, Cisco, a porthole.
Oh, Pancho.
Oh,
And so ends another exciting adventure with O. Henry's famous Robin Hood of the West, the Cisco Kid.